Okay, guys, thank you so much for checking back on Grazio Arts. As you may know, Halloween is around the corner, and as I promised last year, I was going to go ahead and do the Ghostbuster Proton Pack, but you can't have a Ghostbuster costume without the basics, and the basics are the shirt and the pants. They're right there. Now, I know that the Ghostbusters wear a one-piece onesie, but if you're a little bit heavy, like on the heavier side, like I am, you could always go the different route where you buy the shirt and a pair of khakis separately, and it'll look exactly the same, I promise you. And on this project, we have this iron-on Ghostbuster patch, which is going to go here on the arm, right there. And then I also have this really nice detailed Venkman sticker, which is going to go right there. And as you can see, making the slight adjustment, it actually looks pretty convincing, like an actual Ghostbuster uniform. Even though it's not the one-piece pilot onesie that you see in the movie, it's still gonna look good. And again, this idea is for somebody who's a bit on the heavier side. You know, if you buy a onesie, it's gonna fit you in one area, but it's not gonna fit you in another area. Or you can go ahead and just get two pieces, like the way I did. Just get a shirt and get a pair of khakis right here, and you can go ahead and just make your own costume. And I am going to post the link at the bottom of the video for these patches. As you can see, they're very, very professional. These are like the most high quality Ghostbuster patches I've ever seen. And I know that Spirit Halloween sells a Ghostbuster onesie with these already on here, but they look terrible in my opinion. And these are super high quality, and they're super easy to stick on here. See, and they look really, really nice. And especially this Venkman thing, it's super quality. And they're actually from a website called Etsy, and I think the particular person who makes these is from Thailand, and I got them in less than a week. And so I'll go ahead and put the link in the description, so you can go ahead and find these as well. So let's go ahead and get them ironed on. Okay, so I'm here, and as you can see, I got that the Venkman sticker on there, and I'm waiting for the iron to heat up. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this, I'm going to turn it over. If you guys have never, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you've never done it before, I'm just going to show you how it's done. If you don't have like a seamstress or something who can actually sew it on, these are sold with a glue right on the back, so you don't have to go through that trouble, and you can just put it there and then just iron it on. And I'm just going to see if my iron, okay, that's pretty hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over. I'm going to get some tape first, and the tape is just to secure it temporarily so it doesn't move. You could pin it down, but honestly on this one it's really thick and tough, so the pins don't really go through it. And just to make sure everything's okay, so we just flip it over just like that. We make sure it's still in line with what we're going to do. Then I'm going to get a towel, and just one layer of the towel, I'm going to put it over, just like that. So it's not in direct contact with the iron. We just need the heat from the iron. And then I'm just gonna go back and forth like that. And then I'm gonna lift it up. See how this is, like it's still not stuck on. Do a little bit more. Make sure it's still straight. Hasn't moved. Just go back and forth. Right now I have the heat setting on 2. I might want to turn it up a little bit because it's not sticking. Just go back and forth. Okay, it looks like it's sticking a bit. Yeah, it's melting. So the glue is melting and it's sticking on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the temporary tape we put on there because I don't want those to stick. They're just temporary. Just on one side. See, it's already stuck on there. Now I'm going to get this one because I don't want this to get stuck. There we go. I don't want to burn the fabric. I just want the glue to melt so it could stick onto the fabric. This is getting toasty right here. Okay, and as you can see, it has stuck on there. And it's pretty straight for the most part, using this as a guide on this side. And it is stuck. Yeah, perfectly stuck. And it's gonna fray a little bit, but we can just snip those off. That's no big deal. And I'm just gonna do a little bit more, just to make sure it's perfectly stuck on there. Just leave it there for a second. Okay, so I think that one's good to go. And now we're going to do the arm. Now this one's going to be a little bit more tricky because we have to fold it out. Now with a pencil, I kind of get somebody to help you to do this one, because I had somebody help me just outline where it's basically going to go. If you can eye it, well then you can just go ahead and eye it, but it's going to go there. And we're just going to pull it out like that. And I'm going to get the patch. Get the patch here. So the patch is going to go like this. Right there. So I have that ghost going to go like that. And basically what we did with the first one, we're just going to get some tape to temporarily hold it in place, because the angle has to be just right. Once you glue this on, you cannot unglue it. So make sure it's perfect where you need it to be. So it looks good right there. Just making sure it doesn't move. I'm gonna put a second one on there just to be sure. Okay. Then we just pull it right here. I feel it. I'm going to not move it too much, and then just apply the heat to it, just like that. There we go. So yeah, I feel it coming through. I'll try to keep it straight because you don't want to iron in wrinkles on there. You already have enough wrinkles in it. Again, you could always use pins to hold them down, but I had a hard time getting the pin to actually go through because of the glue. The glue on the back is pretty thick. So I just use tape to hold them in place. Especially the tricky one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it. Yeah, it looks like it's already sticking. So I'm going to... Yeah, it's already sticking. So I'm going to take off the tape because I don't want that to stick to the iron. And yeah, it's stuck. And it's a perfect straight, respecting the angle of the Ghostbuster emblem. I think it just needs a little bit more. Just to make sure we got it on there correctly. Sometimes the edges don't stick all the way. And if you don't stick the edges over time, the patch is going to come off. It's going to start peeling off, and when you wash it, it's just going to rip off. So I just like to give it that extra iron on. You don't want to burn it. Going to lower the heat a little bit, because if you apply too much heat, it starts to fade. I like to apply just a little bit more heat or pressure, and that way I make sure I get all the edges on it. Okay. See, like this one right here, the edge, it's not sticking, so it just needs a little bit more time there. Okay, see, now perfectly stuck on there. You just want to make sure you give attention to the hands, because yeah, perfectly stuck. Yeah, see, if you don't apply even heat all the way, now that needs a little bit more, just at the tip. And you just want to be careful, because you might end up burning the fabric, and you're gonna fade your patch. Just right at the tip. Right at the tip of his head. Right at the tip of his hands. You always got to be careful with those edges. Especially if it's an irregular patch like this one. It's not perfectly symmetrical because you have the two hands sticking out in his head. Sticking out, you got to make sure it sticks really well. Because the center part, that's easy. That's where all the glue is. But there's some glue here. And just got to make sure you stick it on really nice. Okay, let's check it. Okay, it's perfectly stuck on. Perfect. So we can just take it out now. And as you can see, this is a work shirt that I got from Walmart. It's a Wrangler shirt. And I went with a work shirt so it could look similar to a to the pilot onesie that the Ghostbusters actually wear. And you know, if you don't go for a dress shirt because that looks too nice, but if you go for a worker shirt like this, that's perfect. And as you can see, there is your completed Ghostbuster shirt. And if you look at it, it actually does look legit, you know. You know, even though it's not exactly the one pilot onesie, it looks like an actual Ghostbuster shirt. It says Venkman right there. And there's your Ghostbuster patch right there. Now this is just a shirt, and as you can see, it was pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and put a link at the description below where you can get these patches, and I am not kidding you. These patches are like super high quality. They're very inexpensive. I think the whole thing cost me about $3, free shipping, if I remember correctly. And they are just super high quality. I saw the patches at the Spirit store or the Halloween store where they sell these Ghostbuster pre-made jumpsuits, and they have the patch on there and the Venkman, man, but they look horrible. They look absolutely horrible. And if you have a khaki shirt already, you can just get these patches and they look super nice. They're very, very beautiful, high quality. Just look amazing. I think they look better than the ones they had in the movie. And I think for a few bucks more, you can actually get your own name on here. So they have Venkman, they have Spangler, they have Egon, and that other guy, I always forget what his name is. And you could even have your own name. They'll type it up for you. They'll sew it on there. And then they'll send you the patch where you could just glue it on. So there is our official Ghostbuster shirt. Now, if you want to go ahead and see the rest of my my video, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the Proton Pack. That's going to be really interesting because I only have like maybe 2 weeks until Halloween is here. I'm filming this on October. What is today? October 7th? Yeah, it's October 7th, and I'm filming this, and yeah. So we have about maybe 2 or 3 weeks left. So yeah. I'll go ahead and start making the Proton Pack, and that's something you guys are going to want to see, because if you want to make your own Proton Pack, I'm going to show you the easy, cost-effective, and most incredible way to make your own Proton Pack. It's going to be super light, so you could go around to parties with it, and it's going to be super inexpensive, and it's going to look exactly like the one in the movie, or better. So please go ahead and check that video out, and check back on Grozio Arts, and you guys have a happy Halloween.